Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next, Ronnie Stanley's future in Baltimore and the NFL Combine. Let's talk. Let's jump off with the NFL Combine really quick. Of course, you know it closed yesterday. I don't know how many of you watched the NFL Combine. I don't know how much stock you put into the NFL Combine, but I'm always looking for the athletic freak. I'm always looking for the guy with height, weight, speed, who does incredible things in the drill, so on and so forth. And what I took away from this NFL Combine from day one to the close is that this will be the draft of the big-bodied player. It absolutely will. Whether it was the big-bodied running backs, those guys 215 or bigger, whether it was the big wide receiver, 6'3" or bigger, whether it was the big offensive tackles, whether it was the big defensive ends and edge rushers, a lot of your bigger guys outperformed the smaller guys who you would have expected to have faster times, bigger vertical jumps and all those kind of things. And so there's going to be a lot of big athletic quality guys in this draft. And so my hope is that the Baltimore Ravens can grab 4 in those first 3 rounds to solidify some rotational pieces in this upcoming season. A lot of impressive dudes like Shamar Stewart, like Gordon, the wide receiver, who ran a 4.3 for a guy his size. You saw Mabo do very well in the combine. You saw Irsay, offensive tackle, do very well in the combine. So a lot of people, a lot of players raised their draft stock, including my guy, Jaden Higgins, who I absolutely want the Baltimore Ravens to take at the bottom of the second round. Based on his 6'4" frame, 215 plus pounds, and his sub 4.5 40, he definitely is going to be in that bottom of the second, top of the third round range, if not sooner. I also liked Savion Williams' performance. I think he did okay. The wide receiver out of Tennessee put on a big-time performance, a guy who's 6'4", 6'5", running a 4.3 40. So the Baltimore Ravens, man, we have a lot of options in this draft, from offensive line to edge rush to just all kind of positions. So I'm actually excited to see what we do. But the first topic of conversation this week is going to be Ronnie Stanley's future in Baltimore. It kind of puts it at the forefront of my mind, being that the offensive lineman closed out yesterday. There's about 8 offensive linemen who probably deserve a first-round selection. Now, whether you get 8 or not, we don't know, but I think it's going to be at least 8. Because the free agents market for offensive linemen is very slim, and Ulrich is already off the board, signing a 3-year, $57 million deal with the Los Angeles Rams, which absolutely sets Ronnie Stanley's price at 3 years and $60. Because Ronnie Stanley is rated the highest left tackle in free agency. Ulrich's deal is $57 million for 3 years, so that means Ronnie Stanley is not coming in less than $20 million a year, which I personally think outprices him in Baltimore. In fact, there was an article that came out pretty recent, I don't know if it was yesterday or this morning, that says that an imminent deal is not close for Ronnie Stanley and the Ravens. And so I believe that you're going to see Ronnie Stanley walk. But what I think the Baltimore Ravens will do, I think they will try and move Roger Rosengarten to the left tackle position and draft somebody, I believe, in the first round to put at right tackle. Because after those first 8 tackles, you're still going to get quality, but they're going to be more developmental. We're not in a space and time where we can wait on developmental projects to work at the offensive line. We went through that last year. We can't afford to go through that this year. I also think that the guard position is going to be really good. Probably all the way into day 3, you're going to be able to get quality. So hopefully this year, the Baltimore Ravens will do their due diligence and draft healthy guard talent and also healthy tackle talent to be the replacement for Roger Rosengarten and or Ronnie Stanley. In fact, I think the Ravens double dip at both positions at some point in this draft, at tackle and guard. It only makes sense to do so. I think with the close of an era, I think that as it pertains to Ronnie Stanley, I think it's time to have a conversation about other eras that are getting ready to close. The Baltimore Ravens are in an era that I call OR. O-R. Boulanger, what in the heck does that mean? Well, I'm glad you asked me. OR is like an option, right? Meaning it's going to be up or down, left or right, right or wrong, meaning it's going to be one side or another. And I think there are some players that the Baltimore Ravens are going to have to answer the tough question of or. Is it going to be this player or that player? I think because of some of the things we've done, free agent wise, contract wise, we've put ourselves, that being the Ravens, in a compromising position with being able to attain talent or retain talent. And so I think that as we look forward, we're going to have to ask some tough questions of, does this person stay, or does this person get preference over the other person or other player? And so we're going to have that conversation over the next couple of days, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday. And because we're getting ready to gear up for the free agency conversations. Tempering starts next Monday, I believe it is, on the 10th, and then free agency opens up officially next Wednesday on the 12th. So we have a lot of conversations to get through. Super excited about what's to come. Really excited about what we're actually going to do. I do believe we're going to see some type of trade for the Baltimore Ravens. I don't really know who, what, when, or where, but I know that there are several candidates that should be up for trade consideration. I think Mark Andrews should be up for trade consideration. I think Odafe Owe should be up for trade consideration. And maybe even a guy like a Marlon Humphrey may be up for trade consideration. Now, I'm not saying they should be traded. I'm just saying where we are, and I'll explain in detail when we get to the conversation of or, where we are in this iteration of the Ravens. We're going to have to be able to flip players and salary for players and capital in order for us to stay competitive. If our Super Bowl window is truly open, we're going to have to make the tough decisions. And so we'll get into that conversation, man. So let me know what you think about Ronnie Stanley. Do you think it's the end of his era here and we're going to go young at left tackle in the first round, or young at right tackle in the first round, moving Roger Rosen going to left tackle? And do you agree this may be the big-bodied player draft coming up in April? I'm Miguel Boulanger. This is the GM, and I'm out.